Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. What?
You know what it is. Unique Mecca audio, man. You know what I mean? We're going to let the people tap in. We're going to let the people tap in, you know? We're going to let them tap in. Y'all been seeing, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. You know, y'all been seeing the Vlad videos and what's been going on, and you've been seeing everything going on social media. I wanted to wait before I really get involved and get involved in this, but a whole lot going on. What's up, T. Chandler? What's up, Mr. G-Man 34? What's up, fam? You know what I mean? Unstrictly mentality. Yo, what up, fam? I'm going to drop the link in a minute so you'll be able to come up. You know what I mean? Salute. Make sure y'all tap in the clubhouse, the unstricken mentality. All right? So now we're going to talk about this situation with Gunna and everybody that's going on. Drop the link so my man unstricken mentality could come on in. Now, you saw the homie, I'm still saying the homie because we don't know what happened and we ain't going to pick no sides here. I'm just going to break down the facts of, you know, how a RICO case worked and how this whole thing plays out so everybody understand. So if you want a clear understanding, sit back, be respectful with your comments, ask whatever questions. I'm going to be dropping a link. So if you want to come up, you could be respectable and we can have a nice conversation about what's going on. Okay, so now unstricken mentality. I just dropped the link, big bro. Hit that link and come on in. That way you could promote your channel because you always show me love. I respect you and the God and everybody else over there at your platform over at Clubhouse. So y'all check them out at Clubhouse. Now, yesterday, dude pled guilty to what they call an Alfred plea. So that's the first thing that I'm going to break down and explain to y'all. What is a Alfred plea? An Alfred plea is nothing more than you saying, okay, y'all got me boxed in with whatever evidence y'all got. You got me boxed in and I don't feel that I could win at trial and I don't want to go to war with y'all. So I'm going to plead guilty, but I'm not guilty of the crime. You understand? And the government, you know, whether it's the state or the feds, they take that because at the end of the day, they just get a conviction and it goes on their resume. So when they running for office, whether it's congressman, senator, mayor, you know, or chief prosecutor, they could say they took such and such off the street. That's an Alfred plea. That's all it is. So the way an Alfred plea normally works, so y'all understand, the way an Alfred plea normally works is you just plead guilty and say, yeah, I'm guilty of the charges. All that extra stuff that we heard yesterday that was going on, did YSL really exist? Was it a gang? That's too much information. Alfred plea is just saying, man, I'm guilty. I ain't got nothing to say about my co-defendants. I ain't got nothing to say about the indictment. I'm just saying I'm guilty for what you charged me with. That's an Alfred plea. So y'all understand. Is everybody clear with that? Put a thumbs up in the comments so we can walk through this legal history lesson so you understand what I went through, so you understand what Young Thugger and Gunna is going through. All right? So we don't go through a whole bunch of that. Now, all right, what's up, unstricken mentality? Give me a second. Let's keep in mind, these are state charges, not federal charges. Yes, exactly. Thank you for putting that up. Now, even in the state or the feds, everything has what they call codes. That's what I speak about with my prison stories, is that there's codes in prison. There's codes in the street. There's codes in your household. You're teaching your children codes, rules, and regulations now. So the state and the feds have codes just like your household have codes. I'm trying to keep this what they call a layman, you know, terms. Now, when you have the state, all they want is a conviction. It's a lot easier to be the state charge because there's less things that's allowed in the state than in the feds. Like in the feds, they use hearsay testimony, where you could say, I heard that such and such did this because somebody told me that, or I overheard it at a party, or I overheard it on the line at work that dude did kill or rape somebody or whatever it is. That's called hearsay. But now what the young man Gunna did when he said he sat in the car and Williams was in the car with him, you know what I mean? That's not hearsay. That's firsthand knowledge because he was there. Do y'all understand that? Could I get a thumbs up? You know what I mean? Okay. So by him saying that Williams was in the car is equivalent to him saying, I know for a fact he was in the car. That's a statement, and that's not a good statement. You understand? Yes, you got that right, Craig. Each one teach one, and that's what we doing here at Unique Mecca Audio. So now, do y'all understand that? That wasn't a good look when he made that statement saying that Williams was in the car, and we talking about the AK-47. In the feds, the AK-47, the minimum is 20 years is where it starts at. We talking about a serious charge. You talking about a young black man riding through Atlanta with an AK-47 that's not registered to him. Okay, so that's serious right off the rip, besides the RICO charge. Because the way the feds work is, I don't know how the state, so y'all right there, y'all let me know how the state of Georgia work. The way the feds work, the feds, they give you 20 years for the gun, but they run that consecutive, meaning separate from the original charge. So if you get 20 years for the RICO and then you get 20 years for the gun, the judge don't put them together. They run them separate, where you got to do one and then you do the other. Do you follow me? Okay, so that's how serious that is. So that just jumped the young man's time up, you know, talking about Young Thugger. So now, when he also said that YSL do exist, it's a gang, and he has criminal, you know, crimes that they committed, you know, now you're saying that the gang law kicks in, and they using a RICO that y'all hearing today in 2022, like how they use the CCE, the Continual Criminal Enterprise, the 848, because they're cousins. RICO and CCE is cousins. CCE is a Continual Criminal Enterprise for drugs. A RICO is a corrupt organization, racketeer influence corrupt organization. That's what it stands for, RICO. So that's what that is. So now, when you have a RICO, it carries you have to violate a crime that carries anywhere from a year and a day. You know what I mean? Anything less than a year and a day is considered a misdemeanor, and they cannot use that. So y'all follow me with this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not concurrent. When you have the gun, when you have a gun, that separates it from the actual crime. Now, if it's 5 drug charges, 5 assault charges, the judge could give you 5 different sentences and run them all concurrent, meaning there's one sentence. So you get 20 years, 20 years, 20 years. Instead of you getting 100 years, you will have 100, but you only have to do 20 years and you're eligible for parole on all 5 charges. Okay. But when they run them consecutive in the feds, we call that bow-legged, because you're running them separate. You got to finish one and then start the other. Okay, so do we understand that? OG Sonny Blanco, what's up? Hit that like button, man. You see the Cash App up there. Let's get this thing rolling. You know what I mean? The game is to be sold, not told. We're going to keep this 100. This is like PBS and CBS when the homie Jerry Lewis up there doing his telethon for Christmas. So now I'm giving y'all the little history so you know. I see you smiling down there on the Stricker Mentality. I ain't forget you, big bro. I just want them to understand where we at and what we're doing so that they get a clear understanding of what we're doing. Now, I'm going to let y'all get into your questions. Let me see this. But if he never been convicted of a felony and got caught with the AK, it ain't nothing but a rifle and a misdemeanor. But I know he told something. Come on now. But he didn't have a federal RICO case. Okay. Listen, I don't know how that state worked down there in Georgia, but I doubt it if AK-47 is a misdemeanor. In the feds, it don't matter if it's your first time or your 100th time. If it's your first time, you're looking at 20 years minimum. That's the way it works. We're talking about an assault rifle that could chop down a tree. Don't downplay it because, you know, you see on the news they fighting for Second Amendment gun rights and all of this. You understand what I'm saying? Don't get confused like it's only an AK. No, to us in the street, we get comfortable saying it's only, but no, we talking about a gun that's firing 60 bullets in seconds. You know what I mean? That's going to chop down a tree. So imagine what that's going to do to a human limb. So let's stop this. It's not a misdemeanor. You know what I mean? The law for Georgia. See, there you go. State of Georgia has an automatic 15 years gang enhancement law. See what I'm saying? In the feds is 20, in the state is 15, per my man Perez Morris. Just so you understand. So don't downplay this. You came to Unique Mecca Audio to get the real. That's all I give you. We're not going to sugarcoat nothing. We're not going to play games. We're just going to keep it 100. All right? So it is no misdemeanor for no AK-47 because that'll take somebody's arm off. All right, we got a caller. All right? Yo, what up? You only got 30 seconds. Keep it short and what to the point. Where you from and what's your name? Can't hear you, big brother. All right, well, they didn't come in. So now this is where we at. So y'all understand what we're doing. You know what I mean? Let me bring up unstricken mentality. You ready, big brothers? You got to sit still, hold the camera still so they can hear what you're saying because we don't need the camera moving around because I'm getting real dizzy trying to keep up with where you at right now. All right. Now, Aaron Owusu said he told in 4K, he made a statement saying YSL as a gang has to be stopped. If he made that statement, what other deal did he work behind the scene? Can't be trusted. He folded. Okay. So that's what this brother's saying. But now what I want you to understand also is in order to bring us down on these drug charges, they spend a lot of money. I'm talking about millions. They spent about $3-4 million just to investigate my case. So they're not letting any one of my co-defendants walk away with time served. Let's get that right. You know? Caller, where you from? What's your name? Oh, let me see. I might have had the volume down. Y'all, could you hear me? But the call not coming in. But that's where we at. Yeah. All right. Unstricken, I'm bringing you up, family. You ready? All right. So we got unstricken mentality from Clubhouse. Unmute your mic, big brother. Your mic. Okay.
Salute,
King.
You already know, man. Love is love, man. I want to give you a shout out. Shout out to you for doing that beautiful video interview with fucking Vlad, under Vlad platform, but you and Kavari, I'm gonna put the picture up as soon as that video get finished so I could touch back in with Beloved. But what y'all did, y'all broke it down. And I talked to the God of Kings, talked to a lot of brothers. We the generation after y'all, right?
Mm-hmm.
We so happen to be one of the honorable brothers that come from your umbrella. When I heard that story today about Club 2000, you brought it back, nigga. It's because of you why New York hip hop is the way it was in the 90s. When I really had to think about that, bro, when I really thought about it, me 17, 18, 19 years old, hitting all these spots you was naming, Savoy Man in the Bronx. Let's not talk about, can I say one thing? I got to put this out. Once again, Jamaican niggas, Jamaican culture is one of the founders of the culture of hip hop. So when you hear Unique Mecca Audio, he was there. He told y'all he came to the United States, New York, New Jersey in the 70s. He was there. All right.
Yo, thanks for the donation, OG Sonny Blanco. That's what I'm saying. My man got his own platform and he's showing love. That's what this is about, man. You know, Sonny Blanco official. That's how you do it. I done went on Chad Mark's channel, the other prison story channel, and I done gave him a donation. He came to me and gave me a donation. We got to keep this thing moving. Hold on, Stricken. What's your name? Calling, where you from? I can't hear you, big bro. Oh, somebody else calling in. Hold up. Hello? Yeah. I guess too many calls coming in. This joint ain't working right. Let me end all of them. Yo, hello? Yo.
You probably got ended and started all
What's your name and where you from? Hold on, we got him. What's up, family? Tell them who you are and where you from on your question. All right. Well, that's not working right. Nurse set in 1980. Thanks for the donation. Fam love. That's what I'm talking about. Keep it gangster, you know? But now you was talking about as far as hip hop back in the day. So you understand, like I said, you know, I was around from the Ecstasy Garage, T Connection, Stardust, Ballroom, Authors Roundtable, Harlem World, Celebrity Club. You know what I mean? We go all the way back. Love
Hey, yo,
people in Brooklyn.
Can I say something about the T Connect? Because I'm from Gun Hill, White Plains Road. So in order for me to go to elementary school, to the supermarket, anything, you know, liquor store, right, the grocery store, the train station, nigga, the T Connect is monumental, my nigga. Like, they don't even know that's the original headquarters for hip hop.
Talk to him.
Like, you got know? The cab station was right next door to it. You go up the steps right next to the fruit stand, to be exact.
All right, there you go.
Come on, bro.
You know, give them the history. That's what I'm saying. All I'm doing is giving them the history. You
they
know?
Don't know what it is to get the cardboard nigga 9, 8 years old spinning. Don't even know gonna get an asshole because I got my clothes dirty.
You know, talk to him. You know what I mean? Evander right around the corner. Let's not forget Evander.
Oh, hold on.
You know what I mean? Let's not forget Evander.
Right on Gun Hill in Bronxwood, right next to the pizza shop. You can't forget about Olinville Junior High School, the worst junior high school. They had to change the name to Richard R. Green. Come on, yo.
All right. Call it. What's up? What's your name? Where you from?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Mike, man, calling from the District of Columbia.
What's up, family?
Hey, man, everything, man. You know, just to touch in on you and to talk about the situation. But like we both know,
man, the joint cut off, man. This Google app thing ain't no good, man. Hold up, here we go. Yeah, you there, big brother?
You hear me? Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. You hear me? You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Jason Hill, stop calling for 1 second, big bro. Every time somebody call it, punch out. Go ahead, finish saying what you're saying. You're calling from the district. Big shout out to Antone White, Larry Moe, ER, the whole crew down there.
All of that. That's right.
All right. The cut off. So we're going to work with it, but we're going to keep this thing going, me and unstricken mentality. Like I said, you know, we was getting off topic. Thank you for the flowers, big brother. But a lot of them don't understand that, you know, New York is a whole nother animal. Like the federal penitentiary is a whole nother animal. You know, I did a video today, brother, because somebody made a comment saying that the line was a little blurred because there was a brother I was talking about from South Bend, Indiana, that was taking feces and urine and rotten egg and putting it in a shampoo bottle after it was empty, you know, and then urinating in it, shaking it up and letting it sit on the bars in the sun. You know what I mean? To get that thing fermenting. So if the police come out, you know what I mean, and they act up, they knew what to do. You know?
Hey, yo, can I say something? I never been in the feds, but we was doing that in C-74. And you know,
shit them down.
Yeah, shit them down. You know what I'm saying? As soon as the police come, one main, the bing, police get shitted down, and then we get an ass whooping.
You already know. Sometimes we do it just for fun, you know. But because I said dude was a real man, he misconstrued that I meant that's what a real man was. No, in prison, that's being a real man because he's standing for what he got coming and forcing their hand to give it to him instead of conforming, allowing them to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? He forced them to do what they're supposed to do because only thing they understand is violence. If you don't act like an animal, you get nothing in the penitentiary. And like he's saying on C-74, you know what I mean? But that's why I tell the youngins, don't go to prison, don't break the law so you ain't got to live like this. Because that's not what a real man is in society. But in prison, standing up for what you got coming, that's what a real man is. You know what I mean? Now let's get back. Hold on. Let's get back Yo, what up? Where you from? What's your name? Hello? Well, the number, the joint ain't going through. But, you know, so I just wanted y'all to understand that about Gunna's plea. You know what I mean? North Set 1980. Thank you again. You know, I just looked it up and the AK, slow it down. Slow it down on putting the comments up. I just looked it up and an AK-47 in Georgia is considered as a rifle. Only legal if fully automatic. But the ones that semi-automatic is legal in Georgia. I'm trying to downplay nothing, but not saying you downplaying. Thank you for the information. But now, do you think them dudes had a AK-47 that wasn't fully automatic? I mean, you know, I hope it wasn't for the charges now. But this is what I'm talking about, just so that everybody understand what's going on. There's some serious stuff that's going on down here. Now, we know guns and all that is legal in Texas and Georgia and everywhere else down there in the South. That's why they fighting for the Second Amendment rights. But at the same time, when that's going on, y'all have to understand that that's when you purchase it legally through legal channels, not when you get a crackhead or a dope fiend to go buy it and then give it to you and, you know, you go bring it out on the street and start going at your ops. Now we're talking about a whole different ball game, you know, so let's not forget that. You know what I mean? Jason Hill, what up? You know, so that's where we at. Yeah, Georgia, you can buy a rifle, right? Without a state license. I was trying to read that, without a state license, but can only buy a pistol with a Georgia license. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. But like you're saying, all these comments is about buying a rifle. Was these guns that they're allegedly charging these brothers with, was they legally brought? Was they illegally obtained? You know,
Hey, yo.
That's where we at. Go.
Hey, Unique. A lot of these people are writing in the chat because you're gonna understand what I'm saying. They catching the tail end of this shit. They didn't pay attention to this shit in the beginning because they looked at it like these niggas had lights out. So now the telling comes involved. Now the miscommunication comes involved. Now yesterday you see this man with the best lawyer in Georgia get some of those charges dropped. Salute to them. Salute to that lawyer. Salute the thugger. Because that's how it is when you fight in them cases. Them lawyers they fight to get some of those motions heard by the judge, and the judge heard it. But a lot of these people are right, and they keep forgetting the fact, like, let's put everything to a side. This only pertains to what they call a real nigga. Because a regular person is not a real nigga. A real nigga, that word came from the 90s of he's a real nigga. He put work in. He sell drugs. He kill. He rob. He steal cars. He don't take no shit. But a regular person in the hood wasn't called a real nigga. He was called by his name or what he was good at, whether he was playing basketball, playing football, or he was a friend of a friend. But if you a real nigga, you know you can't go to court and say nothing. Much as you might want to, you got to shut the fuck up and deal with it. That's it.
That's it. You know, period.
Like all
because
of
like I
that
said,
listen, the only time they say you're supposed to talk is when you helping your co-defendant out. Other than that, if you talking to insult them, for the district attorney or the DA to use that against them, we know what that is, bro. These people are trying to finger fuck conversations now. We can't let that happen, and that's why I'm glad.
I know, but that's because they're trying to change the narrative of what, like you said, a real nigga is and what a street nigga is. Like I said, you got two type of people that I met in the prison, man. Criminals and then those that broke the law. You understand? Those that broke the law is the ones that was on the corner playing lookout or was selling drugs but wasn't really in it, was just trying to make a couple of extra dollars. They got bagged and they went to prison. They broke the law. You know what I mean? But a criminal is a dude that go get the pack, go get his gun, go get his vest, you know what I mean? And he get his team together and he do what he got to do and he protect the block. That's a career criminal. You know what I mean? He's getting in it.
So he's doing everything that he does consists of no paying no taxes. Everything. That's what you call a street nigga or a real nigga. You can't have a job and say that you hustling and I'm looking at you as a real nigga. No, you playing with the devil and God at the same time. It's either you're gonna be with the devil or you're gonna be with God. Ain't no silver lining when you doing wrong. Let's put that out there. Especially like you say, I heard one of your joints. When you doing crime and you get locked up, just go in your cell if you can't afford a lawyer and try to go to law library. All that other
That's
shit,
it.
trying to make the shit look beautiful, bro. It's not it. It's not gonna work to the real ones.
All
Even if you're
right.
not in the streets no more, 1 + 1 is always 2. It can never be 11.
You know, and that's why I tell y'all, don't get involved with it. It ain't worth it because there is rules to this. You know, I did 26.5 years to show, you know, what the rules are. And we got other brothers that just came home that did the same thing. And we got other brothers that's still on the inside doing the same thing. Because these are brothers that knew that they was playing by the streets and there's rules in the streets. And the rule is, like the brother just said, you don't tell on your comrade. Only time you talk to them people is if it's to help your comrade and you. You know what I mean? It's not just let me help me and get me out and leave you holding a bag and I'm calling you a comrade. That's not a comrade.
That's a fact. Can I say, son? You was locked
All
up.
day.
He was locked up with you. That's my best friend, Kyle Bell.
Okay. All right.
You know who I'm talking about. He
I
just
know
came
exactly who you're
home.
talking about.
Listen, that's my bro to this day. We build. So I'm looking at him. He was a baby when he went. He didn't go to jail for no big time drug deal. He ain't go to jail for no RICO. He went to jail because them niggas was without allegedly robbing banks. He was a baby when he went in there. 25 years straight. Never cried, never switched it up, stood tall. So all these excuses that we hearing is a bunch of BS, bro. But then one thing I do know about the streets, and you know that, it's niggas that don't give a fuck. So when they telling you that they never gave a fuck. You see, that's the part of the game that niggas forget. Niggas don't give a fuck.
Watch the F word. Watch the F word.
Oh,
I got you.
excuse me.
Because I want some
Niggas
youngins
don't,
to listen to this.
pardon me. The people that they don't care. Like they don't really care. They was only your friend because you was beneficial of what y'all had going on. And it looked it good for them. You smell what I'm saying? You know the
All
old
day.
saying from y'all is it gotta be in you, not on you. See, it's a lot of people with the streets look like it on them. I could go to the mall and dress like I'm getting a lot of money, but I'm not even in the streets. But it's the costumes that they wearing that a lot of people's getting tricked off, bro. They getting tricked and it's getting ugly because guess what? Like you said, it's our people. It ain't nobody else. The white people over there listen to rap music. They're not committing crimes. We are listening to the music, but like you said, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, now we not street niggas. Now I'm not a real nigga. Now I'm not the boss.
Okay, let's get to this question right here. Now, Terrace Delaire said, hold on. Yeah, what's up? Now, he said once Gunna pled out and those phone records was thrown out, doesn't that help the case? Oh yeah, it helped the case, but by the brother saying that YSL do yeah, of course it helped Thug, but they still got other people testifying, and you know, God forbid Gunna may testify, which I hope he don't. And I'm not putting a bone on anybody, but I'm just letting you know the way these people work, man. They don't spend $1 million investigating the case and then give you a pat on the wrist and say, go home before Christmas and have a good day, you know, while they holding on to your co-defendants. That just don't happen. Let's stop the game. They don't spend $1 million to do a case. Go ahead, family.
Look, because I'm glad you brought that up. We got a lot of people that's online that's in it. So my fame to Clubhouse came to the proffer agreement. They had a brother there said he took a proffer agreement, said that he took the proffer agreement, but only told on himself. Now, you said the key thing. The federal government or the state government would not have a budget for, if it was like that, everybody would be home. You take a proffer, that means you are having a conversation You can have it in the church, a bathroom, in your cell, at your house. This is what these people are doing out here. They having conversations with the attorney general, the district attorney. So that's why you don't get to see no real paperwork. But there's no way in the world you can't tell me under the word racketeering. That's a fearful charge. People have had heart attacks in real life once they got charged with that. There's no way in the world you could just go up there and say this is that and they let you go. Doesn't make sense. They spend money investigating you, bro.
Exactly. Now, hold that. We're going to get back to that because I want to bounce and answer some of these questions. Brother said, when I first heard state RICO and what for, I actually said in the back of my mind that if the feds don't pick it up, they can spank it or get some charges dropped or downplayed. Listen, man, let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. That's what I'm saying. You know, no disrespect. I'm glad y'all didn't have to go through what I went through in order to learn this. Now, put that question back up there so the people know what I'm answering, please. Okay. So now I got a co-defendant that went to trial with me. He had a murder case, right? I'm sitting in a courtroom. My Cody got a body. Now, he shot the dude, you know what I mean, in the face, and it blew his chin off, right? Then my other co-defendant, you know, smacked him, took the pistol, and all of this came out of the court records because dude's quick to say somebody telling. Let's stop the games there too. He smacked him, took the pistol, and said, "This is how you air a nigga out." And he stood over the dude that got his chin blown off, you know, by the other co-defendant, and fired 4 joints in his upper body and started laughing and said, "That's how you air a nigga out." Now, that was in the state. They charged him in the state with that case. He went to trial twice in the state and had a mistrial and a hung jury. They couldn't get him in the state. So what they did was the feds came and picked it up and brought it into the federal court, put it on my indictment, and said that was one of the charges in furtherance of the conspiracy. And I didn't even know these brothers, but I got to sit in this trial where these people is hearing all of this. You understand? We got Big Hassan just popped in. All right. Now we're going to bring Hassan in. So that let me finish saying what I'm saying so y'all understand.
What the fuck was that?
You know, let me finish saying what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Saying what I'm saying. I don't know. Something just popped up by mistake. So we're going to get it right. So now we sit. Yeah, that was a troll. Now we're going to sit here and we're going to get this right. Now they bring him into the feds. And when they bring him into the feds, they charge him in the feds and he goes to trial for it. But he beats it in the trial as well. But the bottom line is they could easily bring it from the state to the feds. You understand? The same as these charges. This kid Gunna pled guilty in the state. By him pleading guilty in the state, so y'all understand. And he got a deal and all of that. Now, if it's not in that plea agreement that he took, they could turn around and they could bring him over. They could bring it right over into the feds and then do out with away with all that plea agreement that he did and redo it because now it's a whole new jurisdiction. So let's hope his lawyer got it where they can't re-indict him in the feds, because if Thugger beats it in the state, the feds could pick it up because the fed supersedes everything. And that's the way that worked. You know what I mean? The gang affiliation law, it's what going to kill them. Yes, because that's why they had him say, that's why they had Gunna say yesterday that it was a gang and that the gang do exist and that YSL is a gang. That's all they needed. It don't matter what happened after that. That alone, you know, that's not a good statement. Let's keep it 100. You understand? Let's keep it 100. That's not a good statement. You know? So, you know, that's where we at right now, man. You know, so we're not trying to do all of that. How much time you think Thugger is getting, or do you think he can beat it? I don't know how much time he's getting. I'm not even going to speculate that. And I pray that he beats it because no man deserves to stay in prison. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to say about that. Thank you for that comment.
We want everybody to come home.
He pled not guilty and walked too. Okay, well, you know, I hope that's what it is. Like I said, one thing we don't do here, we don't speak out of turn, we don't disrespect nobody. Seven God, what up? We don't you know, we don't disrespect nobody over here. We keep it 100. You know what I mean? The link is in the comment. You know what I mean? 7 God, if you want to come up, feel free to come up. But let's get these questions.
Yo, can I say something?
Now, the motion of discovery is what they give you before trial. That's supposed to have what they call exculpatory evidence, you know, and inculpatory evidence, meaning evidence that could you or free you. So your lawyer have to go through, you know, that discovery. So you find what they discovered against you and what they plan on using against you. Do we understand that? All right. So that's that. Next question. All right. So, you know, once he pled guilty and he said, dude did this and dude did that, and that it does exist, and he was in the car, but it wasn't his gun, none of that is looking good. None of that is looking good. And you look at it, we got Christmas in 10 days. You think these, and the trial is in what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You think these people is going to let him out after they spent over $1 million investigating this case? You think these people is going to let him out before Christmas to go spend time with his beautiful bun that picked him up to go jump in the Maybach? You know what I mean? If he didn't give them something. You know what I mean? We know what the government, what the state gave him, which was his freedom. What did he give them to get it? If you could just plead guilty and get probation or, you know, 5 years with 4 years suspended sentence, you know, Gunna would have jumped, Thugger would have jumped on that too, and so would the other co-defendants. So let's just use a little logic. You know what I mean? Am I right or wrong, big bro?
Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired of these people bringing up other people's cases, bro. You don't got no evidence to where the person was holding the phone in the courtroom and caught that recording. That shit wasn't supposed to go out because they premeditated a PSA, an open letter to the media. Now, that contradicted everything that he wrote up there to what we heard. You see where I'm going at? So it's a dirty game. They could be playing dirty on his behalf too. We don't know. It's them against us, us against them. Let's not get it confused, bro. And anybody that's rooting should be like, yo, all of them should come home. Everybody should be looking at it like what the lawyer was fighting for. Man, y'all did it illegally. Even if you one of those type of people that's judging them, you got to respect the law, bro. You got to respect the law. And I don't hear that.
You see what the brother 7 God said, right? You see what the brother 7 God said? Speak on that, God. Read the screen. Could you see the screen or no from where you at? 7 God said, what he said wrong was I know crimes the gang did. Exactly. Because now, if he said I know crimes, you think they're going to say, okay, take those crimes to the grave with you and we're going to let you go home. You know crimes the gang did, and we telling you, take it home. You know what I mean? Take it home with you and don't worry about it. But we're going to go ahead and release you. You understand what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. You know, let's go, man. Let's keep this 100. You know what I mean? Let's just hope it ain't what it is. You know? Now, if the case was strong, wouldn't the feds take it? No, the feds is going to wait to get 2 bites of the apple. After they beat it in the state, the feds is going to pick it up. If they get found guilty in the state and they get sentenced, now this is tricky, and I know y'all going to bug out on this. The feds can still pick it up and bring those same charges into federal court. You know what I mean? The same ones that they got found guilty of in the state and was doing time for. You know what I mean? This thing is real, man. Just so y'all understand where we at.
Hey, yo, Unique, can I break this whole case down?
Break it down, big bro.
A lot of people is getting, and you could relate to where I'm going because you wasn't a walk in the park. You was a walk in the jungle. Now you talking about a bunch of young black men. These wasn't D-list artists. Let's put that out there. These are A-list artists. When you call their phone and you want to show $250,000 and better. You see where I'm going at with it? Say
it again, big bro. Say it again.
Listen, when you call those 2 artists, it's gonna cost you $250,000 and better. They not coming for no 25, 50,000. So what people's not paying attention to, the people see young black men, regardless of the fact of how you want to judge them, but these people are powerful. and they not educated. Remember, these people is not college students. These people don't got no degrees. These people became overly wealthy before 25 just off that music that they put out. And they got their paperwork. They own their masters. You see, it's a lot of things that come into play with this. Let's not put it out there what they got allegedly against them like they didn't been know. It don't take you 10 years for somebody that's been in front of me in your face this whole time. Now y'all acting like y'all broke somebody. Let's not play the game. This shit is a breakdown of brothers, how they did with y'all in the 90s, in the late 80s.
Okay, let me add to that. Let me add a twist to that so they understand. When I was going to trial, you know, my lawyer came at me and said, man, I like that green and white twin turbo Z you got. You know, my son would look real good in that. You know, give me the title to that and I'll take off $70,000 off your legal fees. So that's what they did with drug dealers and cars because we didn't have masters. Now they got masters. So the lawyers say, well, give me a percentage of your masters for your legal fee. For perpetuity. Perpetuity means forever. So that means instead of him getting a flat fee, he gets a forever fee of every dollar that's made from these men. You don't know what they gave, you know what I mean? Whether it was cash, a piece of the publishing, a piece of the masters or whatever, because that's what they want. So they might not have, you know, 1.5 million to pay the lawyer, but they have these masters in publishing that's worth that. Hey, and the lawyers get their names on it. So the lawyers is eating and raping everybody, man.
Hey, yo, Unique, through the history of hip-hop, through the history of RICO, racketeering, because this is public, whether it's state or feds, 5 of them up there are gold platinum artists. The shit is unheard of, bro. Like, everybody's looking at, fuck the street shit. At least 5 of them were on radio. They got streaming. They got records with your greatest artists. You can't tell me this. They not rigging a play, bro. You can't tell me that, bro. This is right in front of our face, bro. The man just bought what 300 acres of land, trying to build his own community, his own. You know what I'm saying? Same shit that you was doing when you opened up to you, trying to build it. I want to give a room. Environment for the DJs. I want to help people get deals, but they knew that they could touch your money. They can't touch these people money, so that's why they pushing for the gang shit. Smell where I'm going at with it? Because that's
once they get that, they got what they call the forfeiture law that's gonna kick in.
You see where I'm going? This is a dirty game, bro. It's dirty, bro. It's dirty, bro.
Exactly. Let's hit some like button, man. We got 405 in the building. Let's hit the like button, man. Let's get the Cash App going and make sure you cop the book of Raw and Harlem if you didn't, so you ain't got to live through the crap that I went through. You can read it in your living room and relax. You know what I mean?
And don't forget to check them out on that Vlad TV, man. Listen, when they show that full interview, it's a lot of shit we ain't hear. I already know. I already know. But yo, that you needed that, bro. Because guess what? Yeah. Out of all the shit that you said, you spoke about what I'm pushing, the culture. And that's what you was doing. Your story could be separated. A lot of people got one story. You smell what I'm saying? Especially when you're talking about Tretch, you're talking about Pete Rock, you're talking about legends that you was in contact with off music. It's not like you was serving them to get high or they was groupies. No, you was doing business in the music. You seen it from the beginning. You see, smell where I'm going at with it?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, salute to you on that, bro. Because if it probably wasn't for you, a lot of the music, come on, bro. You had Tupac hollering at you, Biggie, Pop, all these people coming in your spot when they hit New York, what they call a check-in. You're not tapping their pockets. You opening the door to make sure that they comfortable. Salute to you on that, bro. For real.
Thank you, big bro. You know. Hold on. I think this is Bullets. Let's bring them up. What's up, family?
What's up, you dig? What's up?
Salute.
What's up? Salute. What's good with you? Right. What's good with you? Hey, Unique, man. Yeah, I gotta agree with the homie Pete, man. He said, yeah, we you definitely the culture. I want to say salute on that interview. I like that interview on Vlad Unique. I gotta say that was that was fire. I was just watching it. Nas need to holler at you, Unique. Tell Nas stop playing, man. Let's get that shit on Showtime. Let's get that documentary on Showtime. He did Supreme joint. He did Ralph McDaniels joint. Now let's do the Unique Mecca Audio Club 2000 joint, man. It's a lot of history, hip hop history, New York City history, man. Let's get that Unique Mecca Audio
That's
joint
a
popping,
whole
man.
fact. Real New York history. The shit that's missing when y'all want to keep screaming East Coast, West Coast beat. Unique Mecca Audio was there keeping that shit together.
Facts.
Let's talk about
There you
it.
go.
Facts.
John D, thanks for the Cash App, John D. Big shout out, you know. Put John D up there so they know. Yeah.
Hey, Unique, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, a lot of people was mad what you was saying or there, but a lot of people gotta understand you've been saying these things on your channel, man. I'm glad you get your flowers. I'm glad you speaking the truth, a lot of the history, putting a lot of people on game to certain things.
Yo,
and like I said, Unique, Nas definitely need to hit you. And I hope Nas hear what he heard, holler at you, call you up, Unique, and say, yo, let's get on Showtime. Let's get this shit to Showtime.
Let's get this thing popping. Let's let them know the real. You know what I mean?
Let's get this thing popping. Let's get this let's get this Club 2000 Unique Mecca Audio documentary, man. We need that,
hey,
man, because it's a lot of footage, man.
Yo, Gotti, because I ain't hear nothing but what they were saying about Unique, what they mad about him about.
Oh, about the whole Biggie and Pac situation, the whole
but how
thing.
you gonna listen? Before that man even had a date to come home, they already been saying that. They just never put a name to it.
That's
so this is how the universe works. He's home now. Why they upset?
Yeah, because it's the truth.
But they already been saying about somebody about him. Gene Dealer when that put a name on it.
Shout out to Gene Deal. Gene Deal definitely kept
Come
Unique
on,
name
bro.
alive.
What is they talking about? Listen, they gonna respect this culture, bro. They gonna respect this culture, bro. This man put his life on the line. I'm hearing stories from my own brother. We're not gonna talk publicly, but this man put his life on his line for hip hop artists. Fuck the street niggas, for the culture. Your favorite CEOs, your favorite executives, A&Rs.
Facts.
This is a fact. This is documented in police reports.
Yep.
This is and the real anchors of hip hop would tell you. If it wasn't for Unique Mecca Audio and what he was doing, a lot of that shit wouldn't have been going on. A lot of people focus with him about street shit. That's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the hip hop culture, bro. In America, in New York City, he was behind that, bro.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, yo, Unique. You dropped the gym on niggas, and niggas ain't catch that gym on that last joint you dropped. Vlad and them dropped. Where you talked about if you and Pac would have did that above the rim and he ain't go out to Brooklyn, this whole East and West shit would have never happened. They ain't catch that gym you was dropping on him. That he went to Brooklyn and you basically told him, man, this my business. You come along, but not the cameras. And I gotta respect that, Unique. But like you said, man, he would have never been with them boys in Brooklyn. He'd have been chilling with you, Unique, and none of that happened when he was rocking with you, Unique. So you definitely dropped the gym, and brothers ain't catch that.
Because you gotta remember.
Now, big shout out to the homies in Brooklyn. I was in Lee County, Coleman, Florida. You know, a couple of places with Big Touch, Scooter, official Brooklyn brothers. Let's just keep that 100. You know what I mean? Nothing negative against my Brooklyn brothers. I grew up in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Just letting it be known what it is, because they try and grab things and twist it for what it ain't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm just letting it know the history of what went on, and that's all it is. It ain't to disrespect nobody. It's just letting it know what it is. Now, somebody asked what was the Alford plea, so I'm gonna run that back again. Alford plea is when you plead guilty because they got you boxed in, but you're saying you didn't do it, but you know you're not gonna win, so therefore you're just gonna plead guilty, but you're not guilty. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's what is an Alfred plea is for somebody that asks. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Assalamu alaikum to Allah. Okay, let's go. So where's the questions? Let's see where we get knock some of this out at. The code for the gang affiliation for the state of Georgia is 1615 4 small a small c in it at 5 years to 20 years or a fine of 10,000 to 15,000 or both. You know what I mean? They using the RICO Act, like I said, like they used the CCE back then to call it a corrupt organization. Just like they used the RICO for burglaries. If you and the homies is committing burglaries, they could give you a RICO saying it was 5 or more y'all was organized to go rob people houses, banks, or whatever it is that you was doing. So that's all RICO is. So let's get that straight. You know? Next. All right. So you what it means? So you have to cooperate. Now, an Alfred plea, you don't have to cooperate. You know what I mean? Let's get that straight. An Alfred plea, you don't have to cooperate. But when you sit there and you say the gang existed and you know crimes the gang committed, you already doing something that you know you ain't got no business doing. Because it don't matter what the gang did if you taking an Alfred plea for what you did. If you taking an Alfred plea for what you did, you don't need to talk about what the gang did. Just say you're guilty for what you did. Yes, sir.
Hey, Unique, let me ask you this, man, because I remember we chopped it up, you know, the first time we talked to the phone, Unique, and we talked about like I was telling you about how the rappers is like the new voice of the streets. And like Unique, when you went in, you know, the streets ran the streets, and now the rappers, you seeing that all these rappers is catching the 848 kingpin cases and they getting locked up and they got so much power. You think the rappers should have just stick to what it was back in the day, just being the rappers, being the artists, and not get too in depth into the street life?
Oh, most definitely. But what it was is the street life was the glamorous life. They wanted our life, but didn't want to do and still don't want to do our time that comes with our lives. That's why when the street come crashing down on them, that's when you have what you have going on now.
Facts.
You understand? Like I got my man out of Brooklyn, Gene Oscar. You know what I mean? Now we got Oscar. He had 12 co-defendants. Him and all 12 co-defendants went to trial. They all blew trial. You understand what I'm saying? But none of them was going to plead guilty because that would have affected the other one. And that's the way the game is played. That's why I tell the youth, don't get involved in it. It's not worth it.
True.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest. See, I look at it like anytime anybody becomes successful with the corporation that we talking about, I'm talking about our people, what they built. And even when you're talking about Ford, when you're talking about General Electric, it's a lot of crime that's being committed. Let's put that out there. Now, remember in jail, Unique, from years ago, that all 5 of us couldn't hang together. What they do, they send us all to the box, give us a ticket. They push that same jail mentality, them laws, they push that in the street, bro. That's what we not paying attention to, bro. That, like, if all 5 of us chilling in the streets, and so what? 2 of y'all selling drugs. I can't be your friend because you sell drugs. Now I get indicted and the other 3. That's jailhouse laws that they pushing in the street. Even when people say, yo, the RICO, that's for the Italians. The Italians don't get the same charge as our people, bro.
No, they don't.
Sharing. It's not the same. So what they doing is, it's called modern day slavery, lynching each other, lynching us in front of the world. And I'm gonna land with that, bro. That's all I see, bro. Nobody's gonna, and I'm not saying somebody's right or wrong. Who the fuck is me to judge? Who the fuck am I? I gotta look in the mirror. But this is called modern day lynching in front of our eyes without killing them. But you killing their physical, they name, they legacy, and then guess what they doing? They pushing it on, quote unquote, the people that's telling, nigga, you already know you got the case. But why you want these people to tell? Let's kill them all at one time. This is what we not paying attention to, bro. Because Unique Mecca said the key thing. If they got a budget to investigate, that means they got something already. So why the fuck
And
you
they
need
not
all
letting
these
you walk
other
away.
people? Why you need all these other people to talk?
Mecca what? Mecca
Come on,
audio.
bro. This shit is
All right,
lynching.
you know.
This shit is straight lynching in front of our faces, bro.
Yeah.
From
Hey,
the
I'm
OJ case.
hey, Unique. I just think like a lot of rappers should just, you know, like you were saying, even about like with the whole like the rappers that you was talking about on the on Vlad. Like I think a lot of rappers need to just stick to just making good music and the gangster. They don't gotta make gangster rap. We ain't in the gangster rap era. You know, we in an era right now where they could make good party music. Like make some party music. You know what I'm saying? Make some if you ain't about partying, make some conscious music. But you know, make some music that it don't gotta reflect into violence so these people don't lock you up, man. I done heard, you know, Jay-Z.
You already
You know,
know.
like you know,
That's a
like Naughty
fact.
by Nature made well, you know, Naughty by Nature look was the what you call the street look, but they made party music. You know,
Yep.
so you got Heavy D had the street look, but he made party music. So a lot of these rappers can make party music and don't gotta be on the street level and make good money. You can still make that same money.
But you
You
know
ain't
what?
gotta.
We can't judge on that, bro, because if somebody's
Yeah.
telling a story, right, about where they from and
You got what they
remember,
call freedom of speech. Luke Skywalker went to trial with the feds for that. For them to be able to speak about what they want to speak about. If that's the case, tell Hollywood don't make no more gangster movies.
exactly.
You know
I
what I mean?
gotta
They
say,
did Godfather,
I agree.
Scarface, and all that influenced us.
yeah, but I got it saying, America loves violent action gangster movies until it hit on the doorstep. We love a murder movie. We love that. You watch all of that. But as soon as it hit the doorstep, people lose their mind. So this is what I gotta say, bro. And you got brothers like Unique that really did and held his head high and got fortunate to make it home, to finish telling the story. You see what I'm some people could start something and it ends right there. He got a chance to end it in a free world with brothers like us and sisters that's listening get a full understanding because people was telling his story. Now he get home to tell his story, which his story what needs to been heard from the last 15 years.
And Unique get his flowers from everybody. Let's get that clear. Unique was the only one I would say that got an interview with Poe before he passed away. That's how you know Unique got the respect that he got. That every gangster in New York City came to this man and did an interview since he came home, and he was able to get everybody from
And not
AZ,
even that.
Cab Charles, everybody, man.
He had an interview with Matula Shakur. What are you
Fact.
talking about?
Fact.
That's nothing bigger than that, bro.
Fact.
Because
Fact.
that person that he's talking about that he know in real life is the reason we got hip hop. The reason why we could go eat lunch in the morning. See, we not paying attention to what's going on. A lot of us focus on the fuck shit. I pay attention to reality, not my reality, but the reality that we all living in. Matula Shakur, that whole organization has a lot
What's the
to
cursing?
deal with.
Yo,
Excuse me, my fault.
Keith McPherson, thank you, big.
My fault, brother, because I'm getting emotional because when I seen that interview with
I already
him
know
shouting out Matula Shakur, I'm like, out of all the G's he know, he could have interviewed some of the most notorious people. Oh, there's plenty of people that came home that we heard myths about their name. He said, nah, I'm putting a good brother up there on the platform, right? But a lot of people ain't talking about that. But everybody claim they got the fist in the air. Let me put it. Your fist ain't in the air. Your fist is the money in your hand. It's not the fist with the pick. And that's the problem. So salute the Unique Mecca Audio once again for putting that great content out. Whether you like it or not, it's his truth.
Hey, Unique, how Dr. Shakur doing Unique? Is he doing better? Because I heard he was real sick. Is he doing better, man? They gonna let him out?
Nah, he getting ready to come out. He'll be home this month. He'll be home before Christmas.
That's good, man.
But now I want to say this, man. I want to say this. Now, I try and school the youth by giving them positive content, but they like the negative content. That's what they fiend for. So I try and break it up, and I even give the negative, but I give a positive twist with it by always letting them know that it's not worth it. Don't get involved in it, and we're not gonna be doing that. You know what I mean? So, you know, for that, man, I just want to say, man, thank everybody for tuning in. I respect that, and I'm glad y'all got the bigger picture of what I'm trying to do. You know, I've been on here long enough. I just wanted to tap in, man. But like I said, this is
keep
about
doing your thing, Unique. We love you, man.
Nah,
we love
for
you.
real,
I just wanted to come up here and give you your flowers, man.
Salute,
and
bro.
I'm glad that Vlad did that interview with you, Unique. We need them stories, man. Nas, man, I'm gonna say this right now again. Nas, holla at this man and let's get this documentary, man. Stop playing, man.
Somebody, Master Pill,
all right, let's get it right.
Somebody.
Fact. Salute, Unique.
All right.
I'm gonna holla at
salute.
Salute.
Yeah. All right. So that's where we at, man. I just wanted to tap in to give y'all a little something what's going on and to break down, you know, what the alpha plea is and get into what it is. I know we got a lot of people in here, but I got to get into my night. I just wanted to tap in, let everybody know I appreciate you. You know, cop the book of Rowan Harlem, hit that like button, hit that share button, and let's keep this thing moving, man. All right. Might pop back in tomorrow. Nah, maybe not tomorrow. I might even do it later on. Depends how I feel, man. But this was real positive. Much love to everybody. Thank you to my moderators, T. Chandler for holding me down. You know, my man Andrew for holding me down. You know, New Black World. You know, thanks everybody, man. I mean, it's appreciated, and it is what it is. Unstricken mentality. You know, for tapping in. Let me see. Okay, so that's where we at. So we got everything down now, and you know, it is what it is, man. So I'm about to tap out. Y'all have a good night, and you already know.
Mecca what? Mecca audio.
All right.